Hello and welcome. My name is Dr. Amanda Breeze. I'm a pastoral counselor, meditation researcher, and yoga therapist. And today I want to talk to you about reconciling your New Age practices and your faith. The short version is that no one is coming to answer this question for you. You are not probably going to get a burning bush from the Holy Spirit that says, yes, you can do this. This is okay. And so in that tension, the reason that tension exists is because the Holy Spirit wants to grow your relationship in a way where you trust and have faith and overcome the fear of man, because that's what this is really about. And it's a really legitimate fear. It wasn't that many years ago in human history that people were burned at the stake for believing magical things like this. And so although it's a legitimate fear, it is a fear that the Holy Spirit wants you to overcome. If you would like more information, if you would like more support, if you are experiencing pushback from your community, right? Like if you have, and I hear this a lot on social media, like I've got this pastor who doesn't understand my yoga, Reiki practice. I really need help. Like I need the Bible verses. I need the clarity. I need to understand. I need an answer now. Like I need more than just my own confidence in this practice. And that's something I can really relate to. So I remember in my early 20s, somebody well-meaning in my church community had warned me, I am not to be practicing yoga as a believer, and instead I was supposed to be practicing Pilates. And their reason was because these poses are worshiping Hindu deities. And I hear that argument a lot. And what I would like to explain to you, a lot of people don't realize, and this is through a peer-reviewed research study that I conducted on the topic of faith-based complementary therapies for adult survivors of family trauma, is that these poses are a modern development of yoga. That yoga predates what we now call Hinduism. And that these poses really, there are a couple things that maybe like many thousand BCs you could consider an asana pose, but that is a pretty far stretch. But the real, really, it was an ancient shamanic meditative practice. And that's what yoga essentially is. And so the asana piece, the posture piece, is honestly, it's a red herring. It's a distraction from the argument. A lot of it came about as yoga migrated to the West. And there was a lot of, for example, the sun salutation, right? People think this is worshiping Hindu gods. Well, yes, somebody Hindu adapted that at one point. Because it's meditation, it is not inherently Christian. It's not communion. It's like prayer, can be adapted to any world religion. So you shouldn't be practicing just any old anything. But it's actually a variation on British soldiers doing burpees. And if you watch it, it looks like a burpee, and that's why. And so many of these practices really came when yoga was heavily influenced by the dark arts, the tantric practitioners of the medieval times, in a way that they were really interested in calisthenics and acrobatics. And so that's how come a lot of the stuff we're finding out is actually not great when it comes to physical therapy, yoga therapy, not necessarily what's great for the body. A lot of these things were spiritual austerities that asana is a little bit asana or postural. Asana means postures in yoga. A little besides the point. The true point in reconciling your New Age practices with your faith that you need to understand is that you probably are right to avoid all yoga, like to just accept it all wholesale. Like if you walk into a yoga studio and it is covered in Hindu and Buddhist statutes and there's no mention of Jesus and you are not welcome and that is unspoken yet very clear, then you're right. You don't belong there. But to say that makes it inherently demonic is completely untrue. It is like crystals or money or sex. These things have no inherent moral value. They are adaptable, they are tools, they are usable. People can misuse the tools, absolutely. Can darkness come because of yoga? Could people have been misled in their very Hindu adapted Kundalini yoga practice, get saved and be convicted that is not for them anymore? Could people be way too involved in astrology, turning to that instead of to the Holy Spirit and be convicted that the Holy Spirit says you need to lay that aside for a season? Absolutely. Absolutely. They are spiritual tools. And that is where this gets confusing, is where people try to smash spiritual tools and religious worldviews into one thing, and these are separate things. And that's what's vital to understand. And once you understand that your spiritual tools are different than your religious worldview, your Christian worldview. That's where the clarity comes, and that's how you can integrate and synthesize and reconcile your New Age beliefs with your faith in a way that has integrity and honors both sides of the equation. So if you're interested in learning more, if you have more questions for me, you want to chat more, I want to encourage you to reach out, send me an email, leave me a comment in the thread below. Let me know what your thoughts are. You can also check out my relationship, yogarelationship.co, and I have a mini course on this topic that goes over 15 hours of Yoga Alliance accredited programming in regards to faith-based bhakti yoga therapy specifically, and really dives deep into the issue of the Christian adapted portion of this and Christian yoga and getting to the bottom of the debate. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.